Yes, sir. Yes, mate. We are back. How does it feel, Mr. Kingswell?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The elephant makes every Friday a fresh Friday.
Certainly does.
Oh,
Certainly does. You might see more characters pop up along the way. That is guaranteed. Guaranteed, I
that is
believe.
guaranteed, yeah.
Oh man, I'm so happy that we've managed to get on today because I know it was kind of unscheduled. So but we've done it. Fresh Friday is back, and I think the great news is this isn't the last episode. We are back with a new season beginning today, and over the next several weeks, we're going to be bringing you the latest information and thought-provoking ideas from brand, marketing, and all things digital. And the reason I say this episode is kind of unprompt, I suppose, is because we're actually going to be launching not next week, the week after. That's the 6th of November for anybody who wants to put it in the diary, where we have a guest, we have a brand new structure, which we'll talk about later. But I think with lockdown, a new lockdown, which is on the premise, we just thought it was so important to kind of jump on and offer any advice we have for brands or businesses. And as the title of the stream says, every business, that means you, needs to get digital. Isn't that right, Mr. Kingswell?
Yeah, it's so true. I think the thing is as well, it's almost like, I think at the beginning of the year, people didn't really know the severity of the situation. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, it'll all blow over, it'll be fine. And it was almost like a warning shot in a way. Like that was the warning shot. And then you've seen these businesses evolve over the past 6 to 9 months and do loads of different things, push the boundaries, do something different. And they've listened and they heard the warning shot and they've done something about it. But there are still a lot of people not doing it. And I guess this is kind of why we decided to get on and do something, because people might be struggling. We want to make sure that we can give people a bit of a helping hand with some stuff if they are struggling. But now's the time. Strike while the iron is hot, because we can't guarantee there's going to be any survivors. That sounds so horrible, but you know what I mean? It's just, you just don't know. It's so unpredictable at the moment.
It really is. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is you can let things happen, can't you? So you can say, oh, lockdown's hitting me. I'm a small business owner, or I run a business that's going to be heavily affected by this. The government should bail me out. And don't get me wrong, I fully believe that the government has a huge role to play. And like they did last time, they need to start supporting businesses, creatives, hairdressers, people that are really affected, people in, the retail industry, people who are, I suppose, in some type of commerce, whether that's retail, hotel industry. There's loads of businesses that have been massively affected. But you can sit there and kind of, shrug your shoulders and feel a bit sorry for yourself, or you can get off your ass and start doing something about it.
Take action.
Take some action. So we want to help with it. I think digital media is what we're founded on, and we wouldn't be doing you guys any service if we didn't help you out or we didn't provide any value. So we thought we'd jump on today ahead of schedule just to run through some data points, first of all, because there's some really interesting data, what's happened before lockdown and where we're at now. And that data is only going to increase, especially on the premise of another lockdown.
Yeah, so true.
And one of the things that we did have on, one of the people we had on last time, Ashley Talks, who's an amazing advocate for social media and the way technology is developing. She did not mix her words. She basically said, if you don't start getting online, if you don't create content, you are nothing. That was her opinion. And she's seen the rise of this over in China, which we always see as like a crystal ball, don't we, into the future of digital media. And them words were very stern and they're very accurate as well. And some of the data points that we'll run through in a short second will help, I suppose, shake people up in the right way to know that doesn't matter what business you run, doesn't matter what sector you're in, everyone can do more digital stuff, and it doesn't have to be super complicated. But having these key components as part of your business, as part of your strategy moving forward, might be the make or break of your business seeing the end of lockdown. And we can't be clear enough about that. You have to take action, and you need to start today.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And I guess before we jump into those key points and key data facts, just to shout out a couple of people in chat. We've got Zara in chat. How you doing, Zara? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. And we've also got Eddie Lopez. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome.
Eddie, nice to see you again, mate. I remember we met on the branding masterclass, didn't we? Mr. Lopez,
that was a year ago.
It was, and we did a post, didn't we, the other day, the interview we did with Marty. An amazing feat. And, just to shout out Level C as well, they've demonstrated what can be done through a climate like this. They are all about face-to-face delivery, face-to-face learning, and they've completely flipped their brand to go completely digital, and they've opened it up across the globe, which is an amazing feat. And that's the kind of action you have to take. You've got to flip your brand, you've got to think differently, and you've got to look at digital as the answer to help drive you through.
I think we confused Eddie a little bit. He said, guys, this early start has mixed up my day. I was panicking, think I snoozed again. I'm sorry, my friend. Don't worry. It's still good. We're not drinking this early. Normally we would be on a Fresh Friday, but
I've got a drink, but it's the good old Aqua Mineral.
We've also got the legend Xbox Pope on Twitter. How are you doing, Xbox Pope? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you.
Previous guest.
Yeah, previous guest.
Welcome, Mr. Pope. Royalty, fresh royalty amongst us. We need to pick up again. I know we've got another stream that we want to do with that gent around design, which I'm itching to get done. So maybe we'll book you in for that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think, you were nerding out about the design stuff. You just like, it's really weird because, of course, when I spoke to Pope, you were like talking about the design stuff. You want to talk about the design stuff. Like when you were interviewing Ashley, I was just completely blown away. I was like, oh my God, I wish I was in this conversation because it was so amazing. So yeah. We
will discuss that. We're gonna come up with some. We're gonna let you know what the changes have been. One of them is the time. So thanks for pointing that out, Eddie. But we have got some other changes, exciting changes as well. So we've got that to announce at the end of the stream.
Yeah, that's cool. So you mentioned these key points that businesses should consider, like in like this new digital age and lockdown coming up. What would you say those sort of key points are, and what should they consider?
There's some really basic stuff that I want to go through, and the reason I'm saying it basic is because I know a lot of our viewers do already do this stuff. For people who are starting from scratch, these are the essential components that you need for any business. Doesn't matter what sector you're in, you really need these components. I've got a couple of slides just to illustrate what we're talking about, so I'll bring that up now. And these are the things. First, before we go into the actual things that I think you can do to help, we've got some data points here which I want to talk about. Now, there is more data points. There's some really good places that I recommend you check out. BrandZ is one place that you should go to if you never go to already. And you just you spell it as I've just said. So it's brand with a Z. There's some amazing reading on there about what brands, what companies should be doing. And there's some really good data about the UK as well. And some of these stats you can see here. So essentially, lockdown has propelled digital. That's something that we have spoken about a few times, I know. One of the big stats, 70% of consumers took research products on Instagram or Facebook. It's a huge stat, 70%. So if you're not on Facebook or you're not on Instagram, you're effectively cutting out 70% of your customers.
And just
that's
on
a really
Gaz,
important one.
Like, have you personally bought anything off of Facebook and Instagram before?
100%, yeah, especially through lockdown.
Exactly, it's like one of these things. Like, the thing is, people are looking for the next cool thing to do, the next thing to engage their mind with, and a well-placed advert, a well-placed shop, a well-placed post on your product or service or whatever can actually do a lot of good for you. Like I've recently bought a I've said to Gaz for ages, I've always wanted a wooden replica of Majora's Mask from The Legend of Zelda. And I got hit with an advert, and it was the exact thing I wanted, and I bought it straight away. And it's just like, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have thought to go and look for it. I would maybe in a long time, but I literally took action, and I ordered it there and then. I didn't even need to think about it. So I think that 70% is massive.
When you mention about action as well, like the actual statistics go up. So of them 70%, 86% of people took an action as a result of a targeted ad on Facebook or Instagram. So the stats of actually people taking action from that 70% is so high at the minute, because you've got to think about people as well at the minute. Like, no one's really going on holiday. No one's really spending money on stuff that travel has really taken a big hit. So we're going to buy more products that make us feel better at home. We're going to buy more products that make us maybe look more beautiful, like beauty products and things like that. And we're going to start doing our houses up. We've all seen these trends. So wherever you fit within that, make sure that you capitalize on it. A lot of my mates are in the building trade, doing up houses. It's something that you might not actually be able to do if there is a full lockdown, but it doesn't stop you from advertising your business. So when lockdown eases, you're the number one brand that people are going to look for.
Yeah, so true.
Another huge stat which I want to highlight.
This one's bonkers. I know
we are big fans of TikTok. Like, we do believe TikTok has an awful strong position to play in social media, and the stats do not lie. TikTok has grown 200% since last year in the UK alone, and now the active users on TikTok in the UK is 13 million people.
Just in the UK.
Just in the UK. So if you're not on TikTok, give it a go is always our advice. But there's also another reason why we think TikTok is a great app for people to start on, and we'll talk about that in a short minute.
Yeah.
And then the final one, 34% is the predicted rise in e-commerce in 2021. So it's already up to all e-commerce, all up is at 35% right now. So that means everything that's purchased on planet Earth, 35% of it is currently bought through e-commerce, and that's going to rise by another 34% next year. So that actually means if the data works out, we might be looking at a similar stat to the first one. It might end up where 70% of all commerce is done through digital technology.
That is so just mind-blowing.
People. Yeah, it really is. And I think one of the key points that we need to, I suppose, address is, you might think, I've not got a business where I can sell online. If it's a really kind of like niche business where you don't think you can actually transact online. What I'm going to say to that is bullshit. I'm going to call bullshit out, because you can sell any product or service online, anything at all. And every business should consider that. And if you think you've got a business where you can't sell online, let us know in the comments, and we will do our best to try and rack our heads on how you can do that.
Yeah. We do enjoy a challenge.
We do enjoy a challenge indeed. But yeah, them stats are there to just try and paint a picture. Everything is moving digital. There's even more stats on other areas. So go and check out Brandz. There's another link that I'll put in as well after this live stream that you can go and check out, which has got more stats on social media. But yeah, take some action.
That's super insightful. Super insightful. Like, a lot. They're massive. Like, the TikTok thing is as expected, in my opinion. Like, it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and people have got more time. They want entertainment and all this type of stuff. And all of this sort of comes up with it. So it all sort of balances it out, which is quite good. I know you've got a couple of key considerations, I suppose, that people should also, as a minimum, have. Do you want to run through those as well?
Yeah, we'll bring them up as well. Like, these are the ones where I was saying, to a lot of people, this seems super obvious. But I'm also aware that there's a chunk of the community, there's a chunk of people out there who might not have a lot of this stuff. And what we're saying is, as a minimum, every single business to get through lockdown and beyond has to have these three things. They're like the three core components for your digital business. Number one, we've got modern website. And the reason I've highlighted modern is there's a lot of clunky websites out there. So people might say, I've got a website, but it's written in old scripts. It doesn't work on mobile. That is the key. You know, if your website is not working on people's mobile phones, again, you're cutting out most of the population.
It's crazy to think that, isn't it? Like it sounds, as you said, it sounds really basic to say that, but the amount of brands that don't have that is actually quite surprising. Like,
yeah,
there's so many websites you go onto, and if you ever gone onto a website, you've seen something you want to get, you're interested in something, you click on the website, and you almost come to this website that is completely different to what you expected. Like, because you're viewing it on a phone, it looks like, whoa, have I clicked through to the right brand or the right company? It's the same thing, right? That disconnect. It's like, oh. Then you think, do you trust it? And all this type of stuff. So having that as a modern website just makes complete sense, but it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Yeah, and it's not overcomplicated. We did a stream at the start of last lockdown where we ran through some other tips about setting up a website. So go and check that out if you're a business who doesn't have a website or a modern website. There's some really easy to use programs, like Squarespace is one of them. You can just jump on there, create a website. As long as you can move things around on a desktop PC, let's say, and open files and copy and paste images, that's essentially all the skills you need to create a modern website. You don't need a website designer. If you can get a website designer, that'll just make it easier. But yeah, there's so many template builds out there nowadays. There's just no excuse. Just jump on and have a go. It's another thing. Like if your business is closing its doors or your brand is slowing down, you're not going in the office as much or whatever, use that time to build a website. Pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The second one, which is about social network. We've not put social media because having one social media account is not what we're advising here. It's about having multiple social networks, social media outlets. So you can use all these as a network. For example, we know Facebook and Instagram work together really well. We know TikTok can be moved over to IG Reels to create more content there. We know you can like take a photo of a tweet and post that on an Instagram story. What we're saying here is have multiple social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you like using, or wherever you think you get most traction, and then use them with each other to create even more content posts than you would do just on the one platform.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Really good point. And I was even considering this earlier on. Like I saw something on Twitter with like streamers.
Mm-hmm.
And someone posed a question saying, what if Twitch goes down tomorrow? What are you going to do? Like a lot of people, and it's the same thing. Like if you put all your eggs in one basket and that basket disappears, you find yourself in a bit of a pickle. So actually getting onto multiple networks and, you know, creating content for that, it's going to make all the difference. It's going to be security for you mainly.
Yeah, and it's easier than people think. Once you've like got a description for your channels, you know, you can move that across to each platform. Use the same logo, you know, don't confuse people. Keep it quite consistent if you can. And they're all on your phone, so it's so easy. Rather than going on your phone to watch a video of another brand, why not go on your phone when you're on the toilet or when you're having a break and post a tweet? Or why not go on the toilet or take a break and go on your own social media platform to do something for yourself? I think we're so obsessed with consuming other people's content that we do forget that we are the media. We can create our own content. And now is really an important time to start doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, it's an online store. So online store, we don't mean you have to physically have a store. That could be just a booking system. My barber's got a digital booking system. Shout out Bert and Bert Barbers. And it makes my life so much easier because I don't have to call the barber to arrange anything. It shows me the list of times they're available. I can select the actual barber. I can tell them what kind of haircut I'm going to get. And then when I get there, like a lot of that has already been sorted. So they know what kind of trim I'm after. I've got an exact time. I'm in and out. And also, what they've done really well at Bert and Bert is they've actually sorted it out so people aren't overlapping. So, with regards to government guidelines and COVID measures, they're actually using digital to enhance the experience for the customers. So, I don't have to worry about entering a barber shop that's full of like 25 blokes. I can go in there and there's literally me, the barber, and maybe one other person, all distanced out.
Yeah, so good.
So yeah, get an online store. It's a lot easier than you think. Programs like apps like Instagram allow you to create a store now with a few clicks of a button. I know you can build one in Facebook. There's all sorts. That's coming to TikTok as well. So it's really important that you get some kind of online store, and it works. It works behind the scenes, doesn't it? You know, when you're asleep, your online store, if you're selling products, example, like that's going to carry on making you money. Like you don't have to actually tend to the store once it's actually been done. Just getting it up there is the bit of hard work that's needed.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. Like I know it's a little bit different, but you talk about your Bert and Bert story was almost quite similar to the only thing I can think of that I've got something like that in my life is actually my doctor's surgery. I've got a digital doctor's surgery where I could just book an appointment on an app. Like booking a doctor's appointment is like the hardest thing in the world. And just because they've got that digital presence there, it reduces all that friction, and it's so simple. And it's a little bit different because it's not selling product, but having a digital experience of some kind for people to interact with you is just a must.
Yeah, it really is. And that online store could be on social media. It could be on an app. It could be on your website. Just have some way of someone making a booking or however you want to transact online. It's quite important.
Yeah.
And then finally, there is some glue that binds all this stuff together. And that's SEO and content. Without these two components, you can do all them three, and we're saying that's an absolute minimum, but you're not going to get the type of traction that you're looking for without doing these two things. Now, SEO, for anybody who doesn't know, is search engine optimization. And that is a way of people finding you. So to make it super simple, if I go to Google and I type in barbers near me, Google's going to pick the easiest choices it's got to provide me the best service, because Google just wants to make my life easier. And the way Google finds them companies or brands is by finding keywords and finding content. And when you've got content and keywords combined, what that will do is then provide Google with your business ahead of everybody else's. So if you're a plumber, if you're a hairdresser, if you run an online marketing company, whatever business you do, you need these two things. And the content is the thing that feeds that. So every time you post a video, every time you post a tweet, every time you create a TikTok, every time you post on Instagram, all these little moments will add up to adding you with more SEO value. And it is literally that simple. Now, SEO isn't a simple thing. You can reach out to businesses who do it. We've reached out to a company called Yellow Tuxedo. They're a really good company to reach out to if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And we might do a stream on that as well, because it's quite an important one to land. With regards to content, we've got some tips that we want to run through, haven't we?
Yeah, we do. But yeah, I think the SEO stuff is a bit of a beast. I would recommend, even for someone who's technically minded, I think it can be a little bit confusing as well. So yeah, definitely sort of get a little bit of help with that. We can put some stuff on, and yeah, but it will make all the difference, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and that is that. So I hope that's been of value for people watching. I think doesn't matter the size of your brand or where you're at. I think all them things are super important. That's why we've explained them to you. And give it a go. That's what we're saying. You know what I mean? You don't have to be an expert in any of that. All you have to do is pick up your phone, open your computer, and start doing it, and you will reap the benefits in the long term. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Now with content, Mr. Kingswell, I know this is something that you want to weigh into, because I know we create content, so it's quite a comfortable conversation for us to have. For businesses out there, we hear it an awful lot. Like, creating content isn't that easy. And I know you've got some, I suppose, some things that businesses tend to say when we approach them or when they approach us. And what are them key problems that businesses usually have?
Yeah, so I think when you said it's not that easy to create, I'd say content is actually a lot easier to create than you make out in a way. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people tend to overthink content. And it's like, just as an example, let's say if I was going to create a video on how to start live streaming, and let's say we use a program called OBS. I could create a video on OBS, and that video might be 20 minutes long, and it might take you from 0 to hero, right? That's a lot of work, and that's also quite daunting. So a lot of people then go, oh, right, actually, a 20-minute video, some people it might be easy, some people it might be difficult, but that in itself is a task. But what people, I guess, don't realize is they don't see and they don't know how much content they actually have under their nose already. But I think some of the main challenges that businesses have is a lot of people think there's nothing worth sharing. Like, they actually think there's actually nothing worth sharing in their whole amazing life and their business. They actually think that they can't share anything that's of value. That's the first thing. And the second thing
we hear that a lot, I must say. I mean, even from some of my mates, like, they say, what can I actually do? I mean, I know we're going to come on to that, but let's say I was a tree surgeon. Like, what could I actually show to play devil's advocate?
Like, so much stuff.
To be a tree surgeon.
Are you asking?
Who wants to know about?
Oh,
yeah, I'm asking you. Like, if I was a tree surgeon,
so
what
much.
could I do? Go on, then.
So for example, I can relate to being not being a tree surgeon. I've never been a tree surgeon, but Martina's mum has recently got a tree surgeon round.
Yeah,
they got a big tree in their garden, and they want to get it removed. So things you can do as a tree surgeon. How many tools do you think a tree surgeon has?
At least 10.
Okay, so 10. That's already
you've got
10.
Like a harness. You've got like a chainsaw. You've got different size chainsaws. You've
helmets, blades,
yeah.
Chemicals, all sorts of stuff, right? At least, let's say there's 10. There's 10 bits of content there, at least, because each one of those tools could have its own video. But this is where I said people don't, where they've run out of ideas. You can actually drill down an extra level. What if you've got this? I'm just trying to think of something that I've got. Oh, I know a good friend that would appreciate me saying this, right? I've got a keyboard here, right? There's so many.
I recognize that.
He'll love this. There's so many things you can talk about this keyboard, right? And it's the same thing. Like, I could talk about the keys, the connectivity that you can add into different OSs, the key travel, the foldability, the portability, the fabric. And it's the same thing. Every single tree surgeon tool, there's actually probably 10 features that you could run through and people would be interested in, right? Yeah. Now, not everyone's going to be interested in it, granted. But if you cut down a tree and talk about the process on how you cut down a tree and the tools that you use, that is just a day in the life for you. You do it every single day and you're an expert in it. You are literally an expert, and you're probably a little bit of a tree nerd, you know? You absolutely love trees and cutting them down in the process, and people want to know that. People want that golden nugget and that extra bit of knowledge from you, you know? They get excited by it. And I have got a couple of examples I can show you as well.
Yeah, we have, because I think that flows into the other point around people saying, well, that's all good. There's 10 pieces of content, but I'm going to run out. And I think your point earlier is what you was getting at, like, around, like, let's say we were talking about a chainsaw. I could do a video on what fuel you should put inside a chainsaw.
How to maintain a chainsaw.
Yeah. You could like how to change the kind of chain on a chainsaw. When you know it's going blunt, how you use it to chop wood. What other things can you do with a chainsaw? So you break it down into all these little chunks, and it does work for any business. We call it micro content. And these little nuggets, you're demonstrating your expertise, aren't you, in that field? So then when I think, oh, I need to get my tree chopped down or trimmed, I'm going to go to that person who I think, I know a guy, the tree saw guy who I saw on social media the other week. I actually want him. I find him funny. I think he's really knowledgeable. And that's the person you're going to book.
Exactly. I'll just swap over to the examples we've got here. There'll be like there we go. We've sort of split up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
these examples coming up, Liam.
Yeah, so these are examples from TikTok. Now there's 3 examples I want to show you. One is like a boring, people would see as a boring job. I've got one which is an informational like bit of thing, like I didn't even know how, and this is again using the expertise of that person. And then I've got someone actually putting it into practice in a business context as well. So the first video I'm going to show here, this guy's called the Pool Guy, right? To give a little bit of context,
what he does.
This guy cleans pools. He cleans pools, right? So I think he's based in America, but every day he's cleaning pools. Rain or shine, he is cleaning pools. Now, I personally love his content, and the reason why I love his content is because I'm nosy. I love seeing people's pools and what different styles. Are they underground? Are they big? Are they small? Are they on a roof? Are they dirty? Are they clean? You know, it's weird. But I'm going to show you a piece of content. It's like a 1-minute video of this dude. And if we want to pause it anytime, we can. But yeah, I'll show it to you and see what you guys think.
All right. Got this pool next to one of my regular maintenance jobs, which I could see going green every time I visited. So I left them a note, holler your boy for the pool work. They rang me, so here I am, shocking and flocking. Shot going in first, then the flock. Get the net out and brush the whole surface, disturbing all the algae. Then come back a couple of days later and have a look. Not bad, mostly settled to the floor, a little bit cloudy. Get the back set out and prime the pump. Plug it in, start hoovering. Coming out pretty well.
Like, let's just stop this a second, right? He's plugging in a hoover and he's hoovering a pool, right? He's just documenting his journey. And now you're watching him hoover a pool, which isn't only satisfying, right? But it's like you're looking at it going, holy hell. And he's got the most monotone voice on the planet. This guy.
This is the thing I was going to say. There's not much creativity gone into this, but it's still a valuable piece of content. It's really watchable.
Well, we'll finish it, and I'll tell you some of the stats about this as well. Oh, look how satisfying that is. Rub-a-dub-dub.
That's it, hoovered. Not looking too bad. A couple of sparkles help us sort out the cloudiness. Turn the pump back on, and that's job done. Holler your boy for the pool work.
Holler your boy for the pool work. So if I was in America and I had a pool, I'd be hollering this guy to sort my pool out, right?
So he's in America. He's a Brit though, isn't he?
I don't know exactly where he is. I assume he's in America because of the amount of pools he goes to. Unless there's so many people in the UK that have pools, I don't know. But
up in Hampstead Heath, mate, you know, there's a lot of pools going on there, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe so. But this dude, like, look at it. Monotone, quite a boring job, let's say. He does videos every single day. And on TikTok, he's got 2.6 million followers.
What?
2.6 million followers.
And this is the thing, right? People say, oh, well, that's okay. But that's probably 2 million kids. But guess what? Them kids grow up. And number 2, even if you got 0.6 million, so that's what, 600,000 people who aren't kids following you, that's something you need to think about. And any business can do it. A pool cleaner, ladies and gents. A pool
he's
cleaner.
Dropping tablets. He's hoovering. He's putting the flock and stuff in chlorine. You could document anything. literally anything, and people overcomplicate it so much. Yeah, it's so powerful. I've got I think I'm only going to show one more example because I think we've hit the point, but just another example of someone who shares knowledge, and this might also be something quite nice for you guys. You might not know this. I didn't know this until I saw this video. This is a 2-part, so I've only taken the second part because the first part was all hype and stuff, and I was like, ooh, and then I watched the second part. But what the guy is explaining is he's clearly a tradesman, and he's got a tape measure, and at the end of a tape measure, you've got the little metal hook, and you might notice that little metal hook moves slightly. It moves back and forth. It's loose, and people always think it's broken, and they always let go of their tape measures, and they zip in, and there's actually a reason why you shouldn't do that. So let me play this video, and you might learn something new, maybe.
Inside measurement. So if I take a measurement inside, watch what happens to the rivet, the tip. It's going to slide. Boom, it slides. Okay, you know how much that slides? It slides the thickness of the end right there. That's to give me an accurate measurement if I hook it or if I push it. That allows for that movement. That's why it's important when you're done with your tape measure, let it slam on your finger and then let it go in.
Like tradesman. Clearly, I never knew that's what I never knew that feature of a tape measure, and we use tape measures in our day-to-day life. But if you're a tradesman,
and I'm embarrassed because
yeah, you're like a joinery family.
Oh shit! Yeah, if my brother's watching this, well, he should have taught me. That's what.
Well, he might not know.
I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna watch this video with him and see if he does know.
It's
That's
just
a really
an example
cool
of like things you like. You have this knowledge inside your head. You get the experience from your life and the people you interact with, and you might think that's useless, but to some people, it's really valuable. Like people always, it's like the same thing. Like you see these videos come on Facebook and stuff where people have discovered they're using a peeler wrong, right? And you can actually use a peeler up and down like that, and it peels it. It's stuff like that. People go, oh, we've been using peelers wrong our whole life. It's exactly the same like that. You might have that knowledge, and if you can tailor that into your business and make bite-sized content like that, you're onto a winner. You really are.
You are, and I think it's one of them things that the reason we talk about TikTok so much as well is, as you can see, TikTok is not full of fancy edits. It's not full of people creating pretentious content. It's literally people with mobile phones getting amazing traction and results because that's what people are there for. You only have like a minute to create a TikTok video. So you have to make sure it's full of juicy content and, something like that. That's why it gets traction. People can watch it so many times. It only takes a minute to watch. Sometimes it only takes you a minute to create if you've got something interesting to say. So we always recommend it. Jump on it. Give it a go. The community on there is really quite a nice community as well. So it's always worth a try. And then you can take that video and chuck it on Facebook or chuck it on LinkedIn or chuck it on Instagram Reels, and you can put it on them platforms as well. So yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really good thing. Really, really good thing. Get on it. Do it.
Do it.
So we're back. What's next? Like what's happening next?
So we have launched season 2 officially today, but it is the first episode with our guests starting on the 6th of November. And we have some familiar faces joining us. So we have a couple of people coming back to the stream who've got even more stuff they want to share, but we also have some new guests as well. And like we did last time, these guests are going to be from the world of content marketing, brand marketing in general, and digital. So we have so much to share, and I'm really excited about the next season because some of these guests are going to come with some knowledge bombs, and that's what we like to share.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time. I'm a little bit hyped. I'm not gonna lie, especially for the finale. We've already sort of planned.
Should be
it.
hyped.
Like
these guys should be hyped.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. And I think we're gonna make a few tweaks as well. Like we're gonna change things up a little bit. So yeah, it's gonna be quite nice. Really exciting stuff.
Yes, we've redesigned the show. Like we said, familiar faces. We've got some new guests coming back, but we've also got some new sections. So we're going to be doing something interesting with all our guests to break the ice, and we've got a bit of a challenge, a bit of a leaderboard designed for that. We have got some giveaways, huge giveaways. Not only have we got some spot prizes, but we have an all-up season prize as well. So that means if you tune in to every episode, you get even more chances to win, which is it's a super prize. So you don't want to miss out on that one.
Super fresh prize.
Yeah, and the other thing that we've got as well, we've got a new section which is called Keep It Fresh. And the reason we've put this in is I think throughout lockdown, a lot of people have struggled with health and well-being, ourselves included. I think everyone's taken a hit there. And we just want to give some insights and tips on how you guys can keep it fresh, whether that's looking after your body and your health, or whether that's looking after your mind and keeping focused on your business or your life. And us and the guests are going to be sharing tips every single week, every single episode, where we talk about these things that can help. So look out for that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And I think we're also going to embody some new ones as well. We're going to...
Yes, we are.
We're going to try some new stuff out too. That should be fun.
So yeah, check out that. It starts, like I said, on the 6th of November, and it's going to be bi-weekly this time. So every 2 weeks you can tune in. We have adjusted it as well to a morning slot. Unless we've got any guys from over the pond, then we'll be doing an evening. But generally speaking, we'll try and hit between 10 and 11 a.m. I think that'd be better for most of our viewers.
Yeah, and if any feedback is greatly appreciated. So if there's anything you want to see or anything like that, let us know, and we'll do our best to accommodate.
Yeah, 100%. It's always based around our community. So get involved. Let us know what you think. Get in these comments as well, because we know most of you watch this back on replay. So let us know what are your suggestions for season 2, and we'll try and make it happen. But yeah, look out. The prizes are epic. That's one thing not to miss.
Well, that pretty much concludes episode 1 of Fresh Friday season 2, does it not?
It does. It does, my friend. I think one other thing I will say, any business owners or any brands or anybody watching this thinking, I really like what you've said, but I'm missing a few little bits, just reach out. We will try and get back to as many of you as we can. I know we speak to a few of you already, but obviously we're running our own business as well, so we will get back to you. Just send us a message is probably the easiest way, and we always tend to reply as soon as we can with any help or advice. So yeah, keep reaching out.
Groovy. Right, well, thank you so much for everyone tuning in. It's been great to have you all here, and if you've got any questions, let us know. And I guess we shall see you in 2 weeks' time for episode 2, where we have our very first guest in the hot seat for Fresh Friday. So, yes, have a good one, everyone, and stay fresh as always.